Greetings and welcome to the formula, living your authentic life as your authentic self. And your authentic self journey starts here. Section 2, the emotional self and how it affects our 3D experience. Last week, we started this series with part 1, learning how to find our passion or purpose or mission in life, how to be our most authentic selves, by recognizing and acknowledging our physical being with all its flaws, but also with all its beauty. So here's the question for you. Have you been consistently working on the action steps to make your passion regarding your physical body become your reality? Have you been doing that? Remember, you're going to get the most out of this course if you do 2 things. Take notes and do your homework. Okay? All right. This series, again, is a complete analysis of Bashar's formula, which, stated plainly, says, figure out what your passion is. Follow that passion in as much depth and to such fulfillment and completion as you possibly can. Have no expectation of whatever outcome will happen. Just keep exploring how you can more fully live that specific passion. Then go to the next passion and do the same thing. That's it. That's how to live your most authentic life, by following your passion. That's your purpose, your mission in this life. And this series is going to give you specific assignments to do, so have pen and paper or tablet or whatever ready to take notes. You'll want to pause this video frequently to take screenshots of these slides. This course is going to show you how to find your purpose, your passion, your mission, and how to incorporate those into every moment of your day-to-day life. To recap last week's lesson, because we live in a physical reality, truly living our purpose means we must know ourselves fully, accept ourselves fully, and love ourselves fully and unconditionally, understanding that we are so much more than just this physical vessel. Who we believe we are governs our thoughts, emotions, and actions. So getting our self-identity straight is literally the foundation for the life we are creating, right here and right now. If you don't have a strong foundation, the entire structure being built on that foundation is not going to be stable. You're going to go from one tower moment to another, trying to dodge the flaming debris of your life. No fun. No bueno. So we start with the first aspect of our being, our root chakra, okay, which relates to the Hermetic law of gender. How we define ourselves as a dominantly male or female energy is what every other aspect of our lives develops from. This correlates with the first layer, or the first subtle body, the etheric body, which is the closest energy body to the physical. We remember looking at this slide from last week, and we'll be coming back to the slide in just a minute and throughout this course. We also looked at the 7 chakras and how they relate to how we experience ourselves in this reality. Today we'll be going into a deep dive on the second chakra and how it builds upon the first, or base chakra, to help us create our most authentic lives. This second chakra is called the sacral chakra. I'm not going to try to pronounce the Sanskrit word because I will destroy it. But it represents I feel. So we go from I am, our identity, our root identity. And that creates our emotional experience, how I feel. Okay? I want to make sure you get a hold of that. All right? It is our emotional body, the second layer. Okay? We go back to this. It's the emotional body, the second layer, which takes the I am and creates I feel. That's it. I want you to be sure that you get this, okay? Our second body also correlates to the Hermetic law of cause and effect, the second chakra, okay? Second chakra is above the pelvic floor and below the belly button, just about maybe 2 inches below the belly button, depending on your belly, I guess. But it's right in there. It has a lot to do with our intestinal health, our intestinal tract health, as well as our reproductive systems. It is associated with the element of water and the color orange, and its attributes are creativity and passion. There we are. What we are creating in this reality, remember, we are in a 3-dimensional reality. First dimension is base chakra. Second dimension is second chakra. Literally, what we are going to be manifesting in our current reality physically is a result of our passion and our creativity. And it applies to this Hermetic law of cause and effect. Every cause has an effect. Every effect has a cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. Got to get a hold of that as well, okay? Our second body, our second emotional body here is the sacral chakra, the second chakra. Even things we think of as chance are just effects of causes we have yet to identify. And living our purpose is this exactly: to accept ourselves authentically from the space of love. We feel safe. We can choose to take actions based from love, and those choices will be the causes that create effects stemming from love. It really just is that simple. It's us humans that have to overcomplicate everything. Now that we've been working on our physical bodies for this past week, we're getting used to the idea that being consistent with our efforts is an act of self-love. And that is what we are here to do. It is our purpose and our passion. Now let's take a closer look at the law of cause and effect. We know that a cake, for example, is the result or an effect of a lot of individual actions or causes that we performed in the past. First, you gather the initial ingredients by either buying a premix or from scratch putting together flour, baking powder, or eggs. You mix them with water to form a dough, which you put in a pan. The pan goes into an oven set at a certain temperature for a certain length of time, and finally, you open the oven door, you pull out the pan, and there you have it. You have a cake. It's a simple matter of a series of causes that create an effect. The magic is in understanding that you are in control of these causes. And we do this through personal accountability. Starting from the bottom of this image, we consider our motivations. Why? Why are we baking this cake? What is the purpose for it? Is it for us? Is it for somebody else? Will it bring benefit to the most people? Being mindful and present as much as we possibly can from one moment to the next is our first step on this scale. Next, we then set realistic goals. I'm not a master baker, so putting together the ingredients for a cake from scratch, for me, would be ludicrous. I'm much better off buying a box of premix and accepting that this is true for myself. Is how I set realistic goals. It's how you do the same. Our next step, establishing a support system, is where we identify our tribe, or who we see as family. Those we have identified and know are safe for us to share our deepest and most sacred selves. Keeping track of our progress, or our cake in this example, is progressing, is how we know our emotions are guiding our actions to create the effect we desire. And of course, loving ourselves fully and completely always comes back to embracing self-compassion. I understand that Even if I set up everything absolutely as perfectly as best I can, I'm still becoming my most authentic self. And I may have emotions that aren't serving my best and highest good. Loving myself enough to have those emotions and then release them is the definition of self-compassion. Now you got to own it, okay? Personal accountability means owning our emotions, our thoughts, and our actions. Whatever result I get with this cake I've baked, it is I who put the ingredients together. It is I who baked it with a specific intention, and that I am the direct cause of the results or effect I achieve. This also means that even if the power goes out or an elephant bashes through my house and takes out the kitchen, how I choose to respond to those circumstances is up to me. Full stop. Once I own my actions, I become powerful. I love this quote of Stephen Covey. He is the author of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, as well as The Third Alternative. And I highly recommend purchasing that last book, The Third Alternative by Dr. Stephen Covey. It is amazing. It'll transform your life. It's basically a very, another different nano way of going into how to live your purpose and your mission in life. It's an amazing book. But accountability breeds response ability. The ability to respond comes from being accountable. Once we take ownership of what we're feeling, what we're thinking, what we're doing, we become able to respond. Look at it another way. Making someone responsible for your misery also makes them responsible for your happiness. Why give that power to anyone but yourself? Scott Stabile, I highly recommend following him. He's got YouTube channels. He's got his own website. He's a master channeler of the Z's and an amazing teacher. I recommend following him. I do. This sums it up beautifully. Why give power to anyone but yourself? As soon as you say someone else is responsible for something that happens to you, you give them your power to take control of your life. And why would you do that? Why would you do that to yourself? I can't think of any other better way to put it, you know? Here we have the Map of Consciousness by David Hawkins. This is an emotional scale. We've looked at this in a Love Seat Therapist episode, a couple of them, I'm pretty sure. I'm not going to put any links here on that, but you're welcome to take a look at those as well if you'd like more information on that. But remembering always that we are practicing mindfulness here. We are examining our emotional body. We are examining our emotion and understanding that our emotions are the motives behind our thoughts. It's the energy behind our actions. If our emotions are not based from a place of self-love, first and foremost, we are not going to get a very good result. So I use this scale all the time when I'm working on my personal mindfulness practice, evaluating whether I'm feeling emotions that come from love or fear. Here, we can see towards the bottom of the scale in red. We don't want to be in the red. That's survival mode, okay? We don't want to be in survival mode. We want to be in the spiritual paradigm mode. We want to be in that violet mode, okay? We want to be moving from a place of shame and guilt and grief and apathy through fear into desire, anger, and pride, and then coming into courage, neutrality, willingness, all of those. They're all little stepping stones. It's really very, very difficult to move from shame to joy. It's kind of like pass and go without collecting $200, you know? So we will be looking at this in much more in just a second, but I want to go to something else here. Fully accepting, loving, and being yourself allows you to be 100% authentic. Okay? This means being fully responsible for yourself. I love this quote from John Felito. Fully accepting, loving, and being yourself allows you to be 100% authentic. And this is how we show others how to be authentic in their own lives. So now we'll go back to that scale again. Just want to make sure that you understand this is where your power is, right here. We are in charge of our emotions if we practice mindfulness, and we can choose to feel something different. We examine our emotion, and your assignment for this week is to write down how you're feeling, what you're feeling right now. Are you feeling optimistic? Are you feeling anxious? What are you feeling right now? There's no judgment here. There is no right or wrong answer, okay? Stop the video, grab your paper and pen, start a new document on your tablet. Right at the top, my emotional body. On the next line, towards the left margin, if you write from left to right, start at the right if you move from right to left. You're going to write today's date. This is the emotional body as you are today, right now. Okay? Because this is going to change. If you want to put a timestamp down, you can do that as well, because it does change also, not just from day to day, from time to time as well. Okay? But you're going to write down at the top, my emotional body, and then write down whatever emotion you're feeling right now. Maybe you're excited for how you can incorporate all this into a specific task that you need to get done today. Maybe you're just feeling depressed on how everything's been going lately. Does not matter. Just be honest and truthful with yourself and write down how you feel right now in this moment. Now, consider where you are on this scale. Are you in the spiritual zone or heading more towards the survival zone? If you aren't feeling peace, love, joy at this moment, whatever action or actions you take are going to be coming from a place that isn't based out of peace and joy and love. Okay? What can you do to maybe change it? So, for example, say you're feeling just kind of neutral. Things have been good and bad lately, and it's hard to know how to feel, honestly. How can you move up just one notch from neutral to willing? Can you maybe examine something that turned out well recently and consider how to make that happen again? Perhaps you can look at something that didn't turn out well and make an action plan for how to do it differently now. Go ahead and jot down whatever notes you want to do to move yourself up the scale from where you are right now in your emotional body to where you want to be. Pause the video right now. Whatever you can do to move yourself up from where you are right now, just one notch this week. Write that down. It is going to superpower your passion, your mission, your purpose. Where you are coming from emotionally is where your passion comes from and how you create your reality. So find that action plan and stick with it this week. That is your assignment. Okay? Again, this is all about circles, cycles, spirals of experiences that we seem to keep going through over and over again. This is an opportunity for us to own our emotions, to take charge of how we feel, and in doing so, to change how we think and what actions we decide on based on those thoughts. It's all tied together. It's all connected. And it all must begin with love. I love you. Blessings to you. Keep doing your homework from this course consistently. Keep working on those physical tasks that you had, the action steps for you from last week. Keep doing it this week. Add a little bit more to it. If you're doing like the push-ups, sit-ups thing, add a little bit more to that. Add a little bit length of time if you're doing a meditation thing. Add another green veggie if you're adding more veggies. Bring it up another notch. Bring up your emotions a notch, okay? If you keep doing the work from this course consistently, you are going to be building a foundation for a beautiful creation. You, being your authentic you, and living your authentic life of passion and purpose. I love you. Namaste and ciao for now.